Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Myth Busting. This episode we're going to be finding out if bone meal can affect a sapling's chance to grow. Now we all know that bone meal is used to grow trees from a sapling, but this myth is asking if we bone meal a sapling and it doesn't grow into a tree, are its chances of growing into a tree naturally then increased? Now I've given this a lot of thought. I think the best way to test this is to create a large batch of saplings that have bedrock directly above them. Now the bedrock is going to stop the trees from growing no matter how much bone meal we spam them with, so then we can give bone meal to one half of the saplings and leave the other half how they are. Then we can use MC-Edit to remove all of the bedrock at once, and then when we load up the world we can watch the saplings grow and see if there is any difference. Now before we do that, there is one small test I'd like to do to confirm that bone milling a sapling that can't grow into a tree has an effect on the sapling. So it takes a minimum of 2 bone meal to grow a sapling into a tree. So what we will do is spam this sapling, then remove the bedrock and give it one more bone meal. Then if it grows into a tree, we can confirm that the bone mealing of the sapling in our test does have an effect, even if it is not one that affects the natural growth. So it took quite some time to get a positive result, and right as I felt like giving up, this one decided to grow after I removed the bedrock and gave it some bone meal, which confirms that it will have an effect on the sapling. So here is our platform for testing. On either side we have 100 saplings with 100 pieces of bedrock above them, and I've gone round to all of the saplings on the left hand side here and given them about 5 seconds worth of bone meal each, which I think is around 20 pieces of bone meal. So when we remove all of this bedrock and do our test, we should see if there is any effect by the bone meal or not, but as always I think this is a good opportunity to do a time lapse. So I think that testing was pretty conclusive. You saw there that in the second and third test that the trees on the left hand side were growing so much faster than the ones on the right, and the same again in the first test as well, although it wasn't quite as conclusive, but that's why I done 3 tests this time, just so we could make sure, and it is pretty clear that this does have an effect. So lately in myth busting we haven't been comparing our tests to the game code. Now there is a good reason for this. When Mojang releases a game update, it is up to the community to decompile the code so we can read it and understand what's going on, which is why we haven't checked the code recently. Now Saigo Ryan has looked into the previous game code, which it is quite likely hasn't changed in 1.7, and he has found that the random block update system increases the growth stage of a sapling when it finds one, and when we use bone meal on a sapling there is a 45% chance to increase the growth stage. So it is the same mechanic that grows trees naturally in the game as it is with bone meal, which is why bone meal can affect a sapling's chance to grow, as we saw with our testing. So that is it for another episode of Minecraft Myth Busting. If you have enjoyed this one, please do give it a like. It is always appreciated, and if you have any myths you want to suggest, then leave a comment in the comment box down below. But that is it, so as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.